At a construction site in Alaska, workers found the body of a young woman wearing a scream mask and dressed in a long black dress in one of the rooms of the building. Watch carefully and follow the clues. Maybe you can find out who the killer is before the police. The workers immediately reported the incident to the police. Police and crime scene investigation teams immediately arrived at the scene, cordoned off the area, and began examining the body. No ID or phone was found on the body. The identity of the deceased woman is still unknown. Crime scene investigation teams recorded the findings around the body and hairs believed to belong to a man on the deceased woman's costume for detailed examination. However, there was not enough DNA evidence to determine who the hairs belonged to. Police teams were taking statements from the workers who found the body. There were cuts and puncture wounds on the chest area of the body. There were no cuts on the hands or wrists. However, it is not clear whether the killer used a knife, or another weapon. No murder weapon was found around or near the body. Police investigating the body estimated that it was brought here and killed here. Police went to the company that sold the scream mask and costume found on the body to obtain information about the mask and costume. The company owner told the police that they had sold a lot of masks and costumes last week because a customer had a costume party. He said that such a high number of sales was unusual. The police showed the company owner a photo of the deceased woman and asked if he recognized her. The company owner said he did not. The police then found a person named Bruce in the company's customer records who had attended the costume party. They set off to meet Bruce. The police showed Bruce a photo of the deceased woman and asked if he recognized her. Bruce stated that he had not seen the deceased woman and did not recognize her. The police asked Bruce if there had been any fights or arguments among the guests at the party. Bruce stated in his statement that there had been no unusual incidents at the party. The police asked Bruce if he knew the person who organized the party. Bruce said he did not. However, he gave the police the address of the house where the party was held. The police went to the house where the costume party was held. The name of the party host was John. The police showed John a photo of the deceased woman and asked him if he recognized her. John said he did, and that she was his friend Boris's girlfriend, Catherine. John told the police that he had last seen Catherine at the party the night before. The police asked John if anything unusual had happened to Catherine at the party that night. John said that Boris and his girlfriend Catherine had argued in the kitchen. The reason for the argument was that Catherine had been getting close to another man behind Boris's back. John said that he did not see Boris and Catherine again after their argument. The police obtained a list of guests who attended the party and photos taken at the party. Among the guests was a man in a wheelchair, wearing a scream mask costume. The police are continuing to search the house for evidence. Then they went to John's bedroom. The police said they could smell detergent in John's bedroom. They asked John if he had cleaned his room. John said he hadn't. However, there was a detergent smell on one of the carpets, and the carpet was damp. John began to get very nervous. The police began to suspect something. One of the officers looked under the carpet and saw a large, dark, damp stain. The officer who saw the stain immediately notified the crime scene investigation team. The crime scene investigation team arrived at the house where the party was held and determined that the stain under the carpet in the room was a blood stain that had been attempted to be wiped away, and that the blood belonged to Catherine. No detergent or cleaning materials used to wipe the carpet were found at the scene. However, there were other objects in the room that could be used to identify fingerprints. These included a glass with fingerprints, a beer bottle, and bedding with biological material on it. These pieces of evidence could help identify the killer. Meanwhile, the crime lab found 9 stab wounds on the body. One was in the heart, and the others were in the lungs. The weapon was a 9-centimeter-long stabbing tool. The autopsy showed no signs of beating, struggle, or anything similar, and no tissue belonging to the attacker was found under the victim's fingernails. No hair or anything similar belonging to another person was found on the body. The police then went to Catherine's home to inform her family of her death. Her mother and uncle were at home. The police began questioning the uncle about Catherine and her father. The uncle told the police that he had not seen Catherine's father in 22 years and that her father had been absent for many years. He stated that he had been taking care of his niece, Catherine, for years. He told the police that Catherine's boyfriend, Boris, was very jealous and troubled and that they had been arguing constantly. Meanwhile, more news came from the lab. The police were informed that there was semen on Catherine's underwear and that her stomach contained undigested food and excessive amounts of alcohol. Later, the police arrested Catherine's boyfriend Boris and took him to the police station for questioning. The police asked Boris if he had seen Catherine before the party. Boris stated that he had gone to Catherine's house to pick up the party costumes and that they had met there. Afterwards, Catherine told Boris that she was going to the gym and left the house. During questioning, Boris said that Catherine had been hiding something from him and that her behavior toward him had changed. Catherine then returned home from the gym and told Boris that she did not want to wear the party costumes she had bought, leading to a brief argument. Boris wore the costumes but told the police that Catherine had gone to the party without wearing hers. However, when the police found Catherine dead at the construction site, she was wearing a scream mask and the costume. The police began to have doubts. The police asked Boris what happened at the costume party. Boris said he saw Catherine getting close to her close friend Edwin in the kitchen at the party. He got angry and went over to Catherine and Edwin. When Boris arrived, Edwin had to leave. Boris became jealous and started arguing with Catherine. While Boris was arguing with Catherine, their friend John tried to stop the argument and calm everyone down. Catherine then left the kitchen and went away. After that, Boris never saw Catherine again. Later, Edwin came over to Boris and they started arguing. Edwin wanted to tell Boris that he misunderstood his relationship with Catherine. However, Boris punched Edwin and left the costume party at the house, going to his own home. Boris's police interrogation was completed and he was sent home. According to the report from the police's IT unit, they identified Catherine's credit card transactions. Credit card charges were made at the hotel. Before going to the party, she had told Boris that she was going to the gym. However, it was discovered that she had lied to Boris and gone to the hotel instead. Meanwhile, at the criminal laboratory, it was revealed that the semen found on Catherine's underwear did not belong to her boyfriend Boris. The police went to the hotel to review the security cameras to determine who Catherine had been with before her death. The police identified the person Catherine had secretly met with as Edwin through the security camera footage. Later, the police arrested Edwin at his home and took him to the police station for questioning. During the interrogation, Edwin confessed that he had been secretly dating Catherine and had had sexual relations with her on several occasions. However, Edwin told the police that during the costume party that night, he had told Catherine in the kitchen that their forbidden secret love could not continue and that they had decided to break up. The police then took fingerprints and DNA samples from Edwin's mouth. Edwin's interrogation by the police was completed and he was sent home. Diana, Edwin's wife, was then taken to the interrogation room and her statement was taken. The police asked Diana if anyone had entered or left the room with bloodstains on the carpet at John's house during the costume party that night. Diana said that someone had entered the room. The name of the person who entered the room that night was Austin. Diana's interrogation was completed and she was sent home. The police went to Austin's house to gather information. Austin said that he had entered John's room that night to spend time alone with his girlfriend Maria. After spending some time with his girlfriend, they drank some alcohol. Shortly after, Austin's girlfriend Maria started having stomach pains, and they left the room to go to the hospital. According to the report from the crime lab, an investigation of the room where the blood sample was found revealed Boris's fingerprints on the beer bottle and Catherine's fingerprints on the glass found in the same place. While cleaning his house, John found a metal bottle with a 9-centimeter-long barrel in the bathroom. He immediately notified the police, who arrived at the scene, took the metal bottle, and sent it to the criminal laboratory for investigation and analysis. The investigation at the criminal laboratory revealed that the dried blood on the iron rod belonged to the deceased Catherine, and that Boris's fingerprints were found on the handle of the iron tool. Thus, the murder weapon was identified, and the presence of Boris's fingerprints on the iron tool, along with the evidence, pointed to Boris as the murderer. As a result, the police re-interrogated Boris. At this point, some of you may think that the case has already been solved. Are you wrong? During the interrogation, Boris insisted that he did not kill Catherine and that he had nothing to do with the murder. The police have many unanswered questions. There is no evidence as to where and how Catherine was killed. The police suspect that something unusual happened in John's room. The police contacted Austin's girlfriend Maria's doctor to ask why she was feeling unwell. The doctor determined that Maria had consumed a strong medication in the alcohol she drank. The hospital doctor handed over the medication report to the police. The police began investigating whether there were any traces of the medication in the alcohol glass taken from John's room. The toxicology analysis of the glass showed that the findings matched the hospital report. Additionally, it was revealed that Catherine, who was killed by the same drug, had a high dose of it in her blood. The lab began a thorough investigation into the drug. They identified the people who had died from the drug before. The lab discovered that Jessica, Boris's ex-girlfriend, was among those who had died from the drug. Boris had ordered the medication for his ex-girlfriend. When Boris's name appeared in the order records, the police brought him back to the interrogation room to question him again. Do you think you know who the killer is? Don't be so sure, because soon a revelation will emerge that will turn all your assumptions upside down. The police asked Boris if he knew Jessica. He confessed that she was his ex-girlfriend, but Boris claimed he wasn't responsible for Jessica's death. The police went to Jessica's family home to gather information about how she died. Jessica's mother revealed that her daughter had been depressed before her death and had ordered and taken these drugs, leading to her death. The final clue is coming. Don't miss this moment. The killer's face will be revealed shortly. After Jessica's death, her brother Daniel became ill due to grief and was confined to a wheelchair. When the police saw Jessica's brother, they noticed that he was near Catherine in the hotel surveillance footage. This means that Daniel was following Catherine. The police began to suspect Daniel. The police went to Jessica's house and started talking to her brother Daniel. The police asked Daniel where he was on the night Catherine was killed. Daniel said he was at home. The police showed Daniel photos of him at the party in a wheelchair and photos of him caught on the hotel's cameras. Upon this, the police team arrested Daniel and took him to the police station for questioning. The police asked Daniel questions about his sister Jessica, pressuring him until he finally confessed to killing his sister, Jessica. Boris wanted to take revenge on Daniel for causing the death of his ex-girlfriend, Jessica. Later, the police asked Daniel to recount the night Catherine was killed. To frame Boris for the crime, Daniel secretly placed a metal ice pick with Boris's fingerprints on it in his pocket during the party. Daniel then saw Boris and Catherine arguing in the kitchen. Catherine went to John's room, looking upset. Daniel enters the room with a bottle of alcohol and a wheelchair. Earlier, Daniel had also put the drug that caused Jessica's death into Catherine's bottle of alcohol. After drinking the alcohol, Catherine fainted. Catherine's fingerprints were left on the glass. Daniel took off the scream mask and costume he was wearing and put them on Catherine. He put Catherine in the wheelchair and took her out of the house. He then took her to an empty building at the construction site. He took her to one of the rooms under construction. Daniel killed Catherine by repeatedly stabbing her with a metal rod, covered in Boris's fingerprints. Daniel wanted to frame Boris for the murders and take revenge on him. However, Daniel's plan failed, and he confessed to killing both his sister Jessica and Catherine. After the police interrogation, Daniel was arrested and sent to prison. Thus, the police uncovered the mask of a brutal yet cowardly killer. This incident once again shows us that no crime remains hidden. Please subscribe to our channel, like our video, and don't forget to leave a comment. If you want to watch more mysterious and terrifying incidents, we'll see you in our next videos.